Moana quickly became a fan-favorite film for the Disney community, mostly because of its emotional storyline, powerful lead character, and an awesome, fun Hawaiian setting. But with demigods and volcanic demons, it makes sense that Moana would give birth to some wild fan theories as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But as always, some theories are more dark and twisted than others. Tala being a master manipulator and Moana basically killing her granny are just a few examples of what we'll be covering here today. Whether you buy these or not, we can all agree the theories on the internet are pretty dark, but sometimes there can be truth to them. I'm Teresa with Wicked Binge, and these are dark theories about Moana.
Don't look at me like that. It's a beautiful cave. She's gonna love it.
Why the ocean chose Moana. This theory picks up right smack in the middle of the movie. Maui rhetorically asked Moana something along the lines of, why the ocean wouldn't just take the heart back to Te Fiti itself if it was so smart, or bring the hook back to Maui.
The ocean straight up kooky dukes.
A bit later, Maui provides something that could only be taken as sort of a half answer. He tells her that the ocean used to love when Maui pulled out islands.
You know, the ocean used to love when I pulled up islands.
And because her ancestors sailed the seas and found all those new islands, it was the water that connected them all. And if Maui was the ocean, he would be looking for a curly-haired non-princess to start it all again.
For a curly-haired non-princess to start that again.
But does this really explain everything? The ocean could have Moana exploring the seas and still take the heart back to Te Fiti itself. Now, according to this theory, the ocean doesn't really know where Te Fiti is. Only a god could find the island because it's the source of creation. It needs Maui to be there for finding that island and getting the heart back. We still face the question of why didn't the ocean give Maui his hook back and just let him do it himself? Well, he knows that Maui would never do it. He's too scared to approach Te Ka alone. And to top it off, the ocean hates him. He has helped humans only to help himself. When he did something wrong, he refused to accept his mistakes and blamed others. And that's exactly why the ocean needs Maui to find the island, but it can't trust him to do the actual job. The ocean needed to find a human with the drive to take on the journey, while forcing Maui to join her. If not for anything else, then to at least show her the right way. Tala manipulated with Moana. Reddit user Copernic10 thinks that there's a lot of evidence showing us that Tala has magical talent. She knows much more than she should. Just think about it. Why would an aging lady on an insular island know so much about something that literally no one saw except for Maui? How does she know the whereabouts of Maui after the imprisonment? She must be a powerful magician. She's totally aware that corruption is on the way to her island. Wouldn't the movie make more sense if you see Tala orchestrating everything? In the beginning, she may have urged her son to leave the island, but that failed. This made her start the same process with Moana. She tries to get the heart to Moana in a big ocean spirit showpiece. But after this fails, she finds the heart itself, not letting go.
The ocean chose you.
But when Moana tries to leave, she almost dies. And that's Tala's biggest challenge. Her powers don't extend that far. Let's not forget that ocean spirit didn't help Moana on the reef. Yet, Tala is right there when Moana washes up on the shore.
Okay. Well, then head on back.
Then the now desperate Tala plays her last card and dies. After this happens, the ocean spirit is always out there as a safety blanket. When Moana gets discouraged again, Tala is right there. It actually seems very likely that Tala is the ocean spirit. And if she's not literally the ocean spirit, at least she's the one controlling it. On her deathbed, she even says, "I'll always be with you."
There is nowhere you could go that I won't be with you.
Now that sounds great, right? Well, not really. This turns Moana from the story's heroine into a simple pawn. Maui knows this. He knows someone is controlling Moana and even tries to help her understand this. But she thinks it's just a criticism of her abilities. Maui, though, never trusts the ocean spirit. And that's for a good reason. Tala groomed Moana from birth, lying to her numerous times, so she'll believe everything about this so-called heroic quest. Tala manipulates Moana into finally leaving when she's on her deathbed.
The ocean chose you.
At the end of the day, Moana thinks the ocean chose her because she was the right person. But the dark truth is that Moana was simply the person that Tala could will into doing her dirty work. Not all fans agree with this theory, obviously. They think that Moana proved multiple times that she's no ordinary girl. For example, she had a vision about her ancestors, and she went to Lalatai, a place that no other human would reach. Therefore, an extraordinary girl and not a victim of manipulation. But the theory certainly is a bit persuasive. Moana is a demigod. So let's rewind to the beginning of the movie. The ocean picks Moana for the mission to find Maui and essentially put a little green rock back where it belongs. But the ocean doesn't let her take on this journey that easily. Oh, not at all. She gets tossed into a ravaging storm, and the next thing you know, she wakes up on Demigod Island.
Fish pee in you all day!
And she hears a song called You're Welcome that is all about the demigod powers, especially Maui's. Well, at this point, she's definitely a demigod. She can fight and take down a pirate ship filled with coconut murderers.
They're kinda cute.
And she can push over this massive 5-ton statue and persuade the gods, like the lava monster. This last one being her biggest power. But are these skills the only clue that Moana is a demigod? Not really. Namely, Maui explains that as a baby, he got tossed into the sea, but the gods saved him and gave him powers. And that's basically the same thing that happened with Moana at the beginning of the movie. Let's not discount the fact that she even asks the ocean for some help when the storm hits her.
Ocean?
And the ocean really helps her. Well, maybe a bit unconventionally. Moana had to outright drown, just like Maui, in order to become this demigod able to pull off this mission. If you aren't a believer in this theory yet, then consider this. Maui jumps into the realm of monsters, saying no mortal would ever go down there. But Moana is there. Why? Simple. She's not mortal anymore. She's a demigod.
Oh, mortal's gonna jump into the realm of...
Moana killed her grandma. Oh my, just saying that out loud sounds dark and twisted. Reddit user Casamafone suggests that Moana could be held responsible for manslaughter because she killed her grandma.
Yep, I just did that.
The theory goes like this. The heart of Te Fiti comes with the power to create life. That's the reason why Moana's grandmother held the heart in her necklace. It was a lifeline. The heart was the last thing keeping her alive.
I'm the village crazy lady. That's my job.
After giving it to Moana, she got much weaker and had a heart attack. When Moana left the island, she passed away forever. In a way, Moana is responsible for killing her grandmother. She took away the only thing that kept sweet Granny alive. Now that's just awful. Moana was in a coma all along. Reddit user Josh Toon believes that Moana is in a coma for almost the entire movie. Before beginning to elaborate on this theory, he writes, "Hear me out. So let's give him the courtesy. Basically, when the movie begins, nothing magical happens. Well, apart from that one ocean scene when she was a baby. But she was just a baby, so it could just be brushed off as childish magical thinking. The turning point of anything magical happening comes when she receives an injury going out on a raft for the first time. And the same moment is one of the last times you see that pet pig play any bigger role. The pig disappears because she's in a coma, and her pet becomes part of repressed memories. Everything turns more magical because she's hallucinating on the potent cocktail of drugs that is given to her in an island hospital.
Their boat is turning into more boats!
Or it's just part of her natural body defense mechanism to show her magical dreams instead of the dreadful realization that she's on her way out of this world. Depressingly dark, to say the least. Why Moana couldn't get past the reef. According to Reddit user The Fabulous Bomb, Moana isn't able to pass the reef because she doesn't have the heart of Te Fiti. Does it make sense, though?
A rule that keeps us safe
But Dad,
instead of endangering our people.
The thought behind the theory goes like this. When Moana went past the reef, she got dragged under the water, and then she was sent back to shore. But later in the movie, we know that the ocean can just pick her up and put her back on the boat, but it doesn't. That said, another thing we know as viewers is the fact that the ocean chose her to restore the heart of Te Fiti.
it's time to put my stone on the mountain.
Maybe she can't go past the reef because the ocean knows her grandmother has the heart. Other fans think that the ocean acts on Moana's will. So when Maui throws her off the boat, it waits for her to start swimming before the ocean picks her up and puts her back on. That would explain why it keeps saving Heihei, even though doing this is clearly a frustrating task. Another Reddit user chimed in with another idea. The explanation for her not getting across the reef is in her father. That's because the exact same thing happened to her father when he was chosen. But unlike Moana, he gave up, and the ocean nearly drowning her was just one challenge in a series of tests. The theory states that there's no way Moana controls the ocean. Actually, it's the ocean itself that tests her to see if she is worthy.
This suits you.
Do you have any dark theories about Moana? Let us know! And make sure to check out our Disney playlist for more dark, weird, creepy, and crazy Disney theories. Hit that notification bell, and most importantly, stay wicked!